Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
This is an impromptu conversation about my grandfather and her
Dad.
I asked Mother only a couple of hours ago if she would indulge me and have a brief conversation about the heroic man I know as my grandfather and her dad. She didn't realize when I asked her about this that I would have my equipment, which is my cell phone. So here we are. Mother, thank you for indulging me in this conversation.
Yes, daughter.
So we are approaching Granddaddy's birthday.
Yes.
What does September 11th mean to you?
Oh, wow, that's a great question. September 11th, it means a lot. You know, we have happy moments because of Dad's birthday, and then we also have sad moments because of what happened 20 years ago. So it's just kind of hard to say how do I really feel. I'm saddened, of course, for the lives that was lost, so many Americans, so many innocent people. And then again, I'm happy because we celebrate our dad's birthday.
I certainly agree with you. So thank you for allowing me to have the first question. Now I'll have you ask me a question.
Okay, well, what does September 11th mean to you, dear?
Funny, you should ask. I agree with you. It's happy, it's sad.
Yes.
I remember what I was doing on September 11th, 2001. And I'm sure many of you have those same memories. And of course, as we approach this milestone of 20 years, and every year since then, we've been able to remember the almost 3,000 lives that were lost and the people that it's changed. And then I remember that life goes on, and it goes on in the sense that we can live in the memories and still celebrate these moments that we're given.
Yes.
And Granddaddy's birthday, September 11th, means a lot to me because our family loves celebrating birthdays.
Yes.
And I don't want that to be forgotten either. His birthday happened to be on 9/11.
Yes.
So I have those same feelings in terms of happy feelings because we're celebrating our own family member, and then the somber, sad feelings because of the significance of the day of 9/11.
Yes.
Okay, now we will continue this conversation and talk about grandfather as a person. And I am just really curious what it means to you to call the Honorable James Charles Evers your dad. Before you answer, I have to say, Mother, growing up as a child, I had the opportunity to observe you interact with Granddaddy, and you were what I call a daddy's girl. You would always rub on his shoulders, and with most of your pictures, you would lean in to give him a warm embrace. You always showed what we now call PDA, public display of affection. So what does it mean to you to have Granddaddy as your father?
That's another great question. Well, Dad just was this type of person. He was a giant of a man, but he was also a gentle person. Now, Dad was always teaching us how to work. He wanted us to work for what we get because he knew you would appreciate it. And Dad worked hard. You know, he worked really hard. He worked from sun up to sundown. And Dad just wanted to instill that in me so I could become a better person. And he just always felt like not just handing you things, handing you opportunities. You have to work for it. And Dad loved helping people. But like I said, he didn't want to just give you something. You had to work for it, and you would appreciate it. And he was a loving man, just a loving, caring dad.
In my description, a gentle giant.
Yes, gentle giant.
Gentle giant. Okay, it's your turn.
All righty. Well, what do you remember about your granddaddy growing up in Fayette, Mississippi, Tonya?
In Fayette, Mississippi, growing up. Let me start with saying, whenever I talk about granddaddy and I reflect, I always position it from a third generation Evers family member, because I am a third generation Evers family member. Growing up in Fayette, Mississippi, it was interesting because it's a very small town. But yet, growing up, I didn't know it was small. I didn't realize it was a small rural town, because Granddaddy made it feel so big. Talk about giant. He made the town we lived in feel so big. And as a youth in that time period, we had opportunities to have safe fun. The businesses that he created an environment for youth to have safe fun. For example, game rooms, skating rinks, I remember that.
Yes.
And music halls. Not to mention the Medgar Evers homecoming events that happened early on there in Fayette. So it's a special place in my heart. Whenever I tell people I'm from Mississippi, I say I was raised in Fayette, Mississippi. And almost immediately they say Mayor Charles Evers town.
Yes.
So that's a proud moment.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yes. Those are great memories. We're celebrating the life and legacy of the Honorable James Charles Evers. And his birthday is one of those milestone periods that we remember in particular. And his birthday is fastly approaching. Mother, what would you want the world to know about Granddaddy? And we're speaking from a personal perspective.
Yes. Well, I want the world to know about Dad, that he was a loving father. You know, a lot of people didn't realize that he loved his children. He loved us, and he loved his friends, and he was a gentle person when it came to his children. And he just, we could go to him and tell him things, and he would, sometimes he would get on us, but he was always there for us. And he loved his children, and I remember one time he asked me, he said to me, "Baby, I'm glad you love me back." And I was like, I guess I thought all children love their parents. But he loved his children, and he wanted the best for us. And that's why he pushed us to work. So I want the world to know that Dad was a fearless man, and he was an exciting man, and always was something going on with Dad. But he was a loving person, and he wanted, just like everybody else, just to be happy and have a happy family and children.
You're right again. You are right again. Granddaddy was very proud of his family.
Yes.
And I remember every time we would have dinner at our home, his home, another family member's home, and he would sit back from the head of the table and he would glean in happiness and looking at us. Mm-hmm. And he often said, "Look at what man can do."
Yes, sure did.
Very proud of his family.
Very, very proud. He loved us so much, and we loved him back.
Yes, we did. Okay,
so what do you want to tell the world that you remember about your granddaddy?
I see how this is going.
Yes.
Next time I'll have you start the questions.
Okay, all right.
Oh, what do I want to tell the world about my grandfather? I want to expand on what you said about Granddaddy being loving and loving people. And I've often heard you say that Granddaddy just want people to get along. You've said that many times in public settings and private settings. And so I will expand that to say relationships, because relationships are so critical in today's time. And yes, Grandfather was loving. He reached out and embraced people of all backgrounds from all corners of the United States and beyond. Like, people worldwide knew and appreciated Granddaddy for his leadership, his service, and his incredible insight, in particular in politics. But he knew the value of relationships. And that's what the world needs right now. And if I wanted to tell the world that, or one thing about Granddaddy, I would tell the world to let's continue his legacy by building and sustaining very strong relationships with people of all different backgrounds so we can learn a lot. Granddaddy was very proud of that.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
So thank you for indulging me, and to those of you who are listening, we know that you know a lot of the professional accomplishments that the Honorable James Charles Evers made over the years, and we know about those too.
Yes.
We wanted you to have a little bit of insight into the human side of this giant of a leader that we call Grandfather and
Dad.
As we remember him every day, in particular on this day, we ask that you do a little bit of reading about the Evers family and honor his legacy by going out to vote and building great relationships, providing service to your community, and creating businesses. Any parting words, Mother?
Well, just like I said, Dad always kept saying, "Why we can't get along." So that's one thing I would love for everyone to remember, and let's just get along.
Let's just get along.
Yes, let's just get along.